Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
Here is your essay prompt. Begin. Sofia Vasilyevna Kovalevskaya, a pioneering figure in mathematics, significantly advanced our comprehension of complex dynamical systems. Her 1878 publication on the problem of the rotation of a solid body about a fixed point remains a cornerstone achievement within the field of classical mechanics. This essay provides a structured evaluation of Kovalevskaya's work, examining her central claims, analytical techniques, and conceptual framework as articulated across its various sections. We will delve into her derivations, scrutinize the evidence presented, and contextualize her arguments within the broader intellectual landscape of 19th century mathematics and physics. A thorough assessment of the Kovalevskaya top reveals both the ingenuity of her approach and the enduring impact of her findings. Section 1, Introduction of the Euler Equations and Problem Statement. Kovalevskaya commences her treatise by explicitly stating the fundamental challenge to determine the motion of a rigid body rotating around a stationary point, assuming no external forces act upon it. This problem, while seemingly simple, had confounded mathematicians and physicists for decades, with complete solutions attained only in specific, constrained circumstances. The initial portion of Kovalevskaya's work meticulously lays out the Euler equations, a system of differential equations that govern the time evolution of the body's angular momentum components in a body-fixed reference frame. These equations, expressed in terms of the principal moments of inertia, designated A, B, and C, and the corresponding angular velocities, labelled P, Q, and R, represent the core mathematical framework upon which her subsequent analysis rests. Kovalevskaya carefully defines each variable, clarifying their physical significance. The establishment of these foundational equations is undeniably crucial, serving as the bedrock for all subsequent analytical endeavours within the work. Any deviation from this accepted framework would inevitably undermine the rigorous derivation that follows. Interestingly, Kovalevskaya does not explicitly derive the Euler equations from first principles, assuming the reader possesses a prior familiarity with them, or alternatively has access to earlier texts on mechanics by figures such as Poisson or Lagrange. This implicit assumption reveals the intended audience, namely established mathematicians, physicists, or exceptionally adept students. The section concludes with a precise declaration of the research objective to locate a new integral of motion which would render the system of Euler equations integrable. Integrability, in this sense, signifies the existence of a sufficient number of independent, conserved quantities to allow for an explicit solution to the equations of motion. Section 2, The Search for Integrals and Introduction of the Kovalevskaya Exponent. The author then embarks on a systematic exploration for additional integrals of motion beyond the already known energy integral and angular momentum integral. Kovalevskaya introduces a novel algebraic technique, namely the examination of the behavior of solutions of the Euler equations in the complex time plane. This bold approach, deviating from purely real-valued analysis, represents a defining characteristic of her methodology. She focuses on identifying specific complex times, which she terms singularities, where the solutions to the Euler equations become unbounded. The key insight lies in the observation that the residues of these solutions, evaluated at the singularities, must satisfy specific algebraic constraints if an additional integral, independent of the energy and angular momentum, exists. To facilitate this analysis, Kovalevskaya introduces the concept of the Kovalevskaya exponent, a parameter derived from the ratios of the principal moments of inertia. By meticulously examining the algebraic conditions imposed by the residue analysis, she establishes that the existence of a new integral is intimately linked to specific values of the Kovalevskaya exponent. The logic of this section is compelling. If the residues do not meet the derived algebraic restrictions, then the hypothesis of a third invariant is false. Furthermore, the approach of evaluating complex time solutions is a significant diversion from the traditional analysis of that era and constitutes one of the work's most notable points. Section 3. Derivation of the Kovalevskaya conditions. In this pivotal section, Kovalevskaya embarks on the core derivation that ultimately leads to the identification of a new integrable case through meticulous algebraic manipulation. Building upon the residue analysis introduced in the prior section, she derives a set of necessary conditions on the principal moments of inertia for the existence of the additional integral of motion. These conditions, now known as the Kovalevskaya conditions, establish that the rigid body must possess a particular symmetry. Specifically, two of the principal moments of inertia must be equal, and the third moment of inertia must be twice the value of the other two. Mathematically, this is expressed as A equals B, and C equals 2 times A. Such exacting symmetry is far from arbitrary, but serves as the central constraint. Kovalevskaya demonstrates, through painstaking calculation and algebraic reduction, that only under these restrictive conditions can the residue analysis yield the specific algebraic relationships necessary for an independent integral to manifest. The sheer complexity of the algebraic manipulations involved cannot be overstated. Kovalevskaya skillfully navigates through a labyrinth of equations, employing sophisticated techniques to simplify expressions and eliminate variables. A single error in sign or algebraic manipulation could potentially invalidate the entire derivation. The rigorous proof provided by Kovalevskaya leaves very little room for ambiguity. The conditions that she derives are not merely suggestive, but rigorously necessary for the existence of the additional integral. Section 4. Explicit construction of the Kovalevskaya integral. Having established the necessary conditions for integrability, Kovalevskaya proceeds to explicitly construct the additional integral of motion that arises when the Kovalevskaya conditions are satisfied. This integral, a complex and intricate expression involving the angular velocities and direction cosines of the body-fixed axis in the space-fixed frame, represents the culmination of her analytical efforts. Its form is not immediately intuitive, resulting from a complex interplay of the angular momentum components and the direction cosines. The direction cosines themselves are not constants of motion. Rather, they evolve in a time-dependent manner governed by the Euler-Poisson equations. Kovalevskaya skillfully combines these elements in a carefully chosen manner, crafting an expression that remains constant throughout the motion. To verify that the expression is indeed a constant of motion, Kovalevskaya meticulously demonstrates that its time derivative, calculated using the Euler equations and the Euler-Poisson equations, vanishes identically. This verification process, a demanding and extensive calculation in itself, provides definitive confirmation of the integral's validity. The introduction of the Kovalevskaya integral marks a critical juncture. The integral itself has a non-trivial form, showing that the integrals of motion are not always simple combinations of physical quantities. This section provides an example of how to construct a new constant of motion when certain conditions apply. This construction is achieved using the Euler-Poisson equations. Section 5. Solution of the equations of motion in terms of hyperelliptic functions. With the complete set of integrals of motion at her disposal, Kovalevskaya proceeds to solve the equations of motion for the rigid body under the Kovalevskaya conditions. This involves expressing the angular velocities and direction cosines as explicit functions of time. The solution, however, does not take the form of elementary functions such as sines, cosines, or exponentials. Instead, Kovalevskaya demonstrates that the solutions can be expressed in terms of hyperelliptic functions, a generalization of elliptic functions. These hyperelliptic functions arise naturally from the algebraic structure of the integrals of motion, and the associated Hamiltonian system. The explicit solution involves inverting a hyperelliptic integral, a process that typically requires sophisticated techniques from complex analysis. Kovalevskaya skillfully navigates these complexities, demonstrating the intricate connection between the dynamics of the rigid body and the theory of hyperelliptic functions. This connection reveals a deep underlying mathematical structure that would have remained hidden without Kovalevskaya's insightful analysis. This section underlines the power of mathematics to solve mechanics problems. The application of hyperelliptic functions gives a precise, albeit complex, characterization of the motion. Kovalevskaya's demonstration provided a complete, close-form solution to the problem, representing a major achievement. Section 6 Geometric Interpretation and Physical Significance. Having obtained the explicit solution in terms of hyperelliptic functions, Kovalevskaya delves into the geometric interpretation of the motion and explores its physical significance. She visualizes the motion of the rigid body in terms of the precession and nutation of its symmetry axis, providing a clear conceptual picture of its dynamic behavior. The hyperelliptic functions, while mathematically abstract, translate into concrete features of the body's orientation in space. Furthermore, Kovalevskaya draws connections to other physical systems that exhibit similar mathematical structures, highlighting the unifying power of her analysis. The motion of a rigid body under the Kovalevskaya conditions is not merely an isolated mathematical curiosity, but is representative of a broader class of dynamical systems. Kovalevskaya's exploration of geometric interpretation showcases her deep understanding of the underlying physics. She goes beyond the mathematical formalism and provides a tangible interpretation of the motion in terms of precession and nutation. This section is critical in demonstrating why this mathematical solution is important, because it provides a physical interpretation. Section 7 Comparison with the Euler and Lagrange cases. Kovalevskaya carefully contrasts a solution with the previously known integrable cases of the rigid body problem, the Euler case and the Lagrange case. In the Euler case, no external torques act on the body, but the body is not assumed to have any particular symmetry. In the Lagrange case, the body possesses axial symmetry, and the center of mass lies on the symmetry axis. Kovalevskaya demonstrates that her solution represents a genuinely new and distinct integrable case, one that is not merely the special instance of either the Euler or Lagrange solutions. The Kovalevskaya case requires a specific relationship between the principal moments of inertia that is not satisfied by either the Euler or Lagrange cases. This comparison underscores the significance of Kovalevskaya's discovery, highlighting its originality and its contribution to the field of classical mechanics. This section highlights the originality of the Kovalevskaya solution by distinguishing it from previously known examples. This provides more concrete evidence for the significance of the result. The precise requirements imposed on moments of inertia mean the solution is very specific and not a trivial generalization. Section 8 Analysis of stability and periodic solutions. Next, Kovalevskaya investigates the stability of the solutions and the existence of periodic motions. She analyzes the behavior of the solutions under small perturbations, determining whether the system tends to return to its original state or diverge away from it. This stability analysis is crucial for understanding the long-term behavior of the system. Kovalevskaya identifies specific parameter regimes where the solutions are stable and others where they are unstable. Furthermore, she explores the existence of periodic solutions, where the motion repeats itself after a certain period of time. These periodic solutions represent special instances of the general solution and are often of particular interest in physical applications. The examination of stability and periodic solutions provides a deeper insight into the dynamics of the rigid body under the Kovalevskaya conditions. It helps to understand the qualitative behavior of the system and its response to external disturbances. The discovery of stable and unstable regimes adds further complexity to the analysis, even though the solution is known. Its stability needs separate calculation. Section 9 Connection to Hamiltonian mechanics and symplectic geometry. Kovalevskaya implicitly touches upon the relationship between her solution and the broader framework of Hamiltonian mechanics and symplectic geometry. The integrability of the system, as demonstrated by the existence of the additional integral of motion, is intimately connected to the underlying Hamiltonian structure of the equations. The integrals of motion correspond to conserved quantities that remain invariant under the Hamiltonian flow. Furthermore, the symplectic geometry provides a natural setting for understanding the dynamics of the system and the relationships between the integrals of motion. While Kovalevskaya does not explicitly use the language of Hamiltonian mechanics and symplectic geometry, the connections are evident in her analysis. The existence of integrals showcases how a Hamiltonian system can have special characteristics which enable a closed-form solution. The integration itself may be difficult, but the underlying structure enables its possibility. Section 10 Addressing critiques and subsequent developments. The work underwent scrutiny after its publication, with some mathematicians initially questioning the validity or completeness of Kovalevskaya's solution. Some critiques focus on the complexity of the hyperelliptic functions and the difficulty of extracting practical information from the explicit solution. Others raised concerns about the convergence of the series expansions used in the analysis. However, subsequent developments and further investigations ultimately confirmed the correctness of Kovalevskaya's results. Later mathematicians provided alternative derivations of the Kovalevskaya integral and explored its connection to other integrable systems. The initial critiques, while ultimately proven unfounded, served as a catalyst for further research and a deeper understanding of the Kovalevskaya top. This section reveals the process of refinement and validation inherent in scientific discovery. Initial skepticism is frequently a catalyst which leads to a further and more detailed investigation of claims. In Kovalevskaya's case, initial doubt was ultimately proven wrong. Section 11 Modern Interpretations and Generalizations. In modern times, Kovalevskaya's solution has found applications in various fields, including celestial mechanics, fluid dynamics, and plasma physics. The Kovalevskaya top serves as a model system for understanding the dynamics of rotating objects in these various settings. Furthermore, mathematicians have explored generalizations of the Kovalevskaya top to higher dimensions and to more complex physical systems. These generalizations have led to the discovery of new integrable cases and a deeper understanding of the underlying mathematical structures. The enduring relevance of the Kovalevskaya problem underscores the profundity of Kovalevskaya's original discovery. The model retains relevance in modern research and gives insight into complex physical systems. The concept has even been extended to higher dimensions, showcasing the generality of its mathematical underpinnings. Section 12 Legacy and Impact on Mathematical Physics. Kovalevskaya's work on the rigid body problem stands as a testament to her exceptional mathematical abilities and her profound insights into the workings of classical mechanics. Her discovery of the Kovalevskaya top represents a major achievement in the field of integrable systems and has had a lasting impact on mathematical physics. Kovalevskaya's legacy extends beyond her specific scientific contributions. She served as an inspiration to future generations of mathematicians, particularly women, demonstrating that women are capable of making significant contributions to the field. Her work continues to be studied and appreciated by mathematicians and physicists around the world. The impact of the discovery extends far beyond the specifics of the problem, but inspires mathematicians and physicists. Her contributions provide lasting legacies. In conclusion, Sofia Kovalevskaya's on the problem of the rotation of a solid body about a fixed point represents a monumental achievement in classical mechanics. Her rigorous derivation of the Kovalevskaya conditions, her explicit construction of the Kovalevskaya integral, and her solution of the equations of motion in terms of hyperelliptic functions demonstrate her exceptional mathematical prowess. The enduring significance of her work lies not only in the specific solution she obtained, but also in the broader insights it provides into the dynamics of integrable systems and the deep connections between mathematics and physics. Despite initial skepticism, her work has been thoroughly validated and generalized, cementing her place as a giant in the field of mathematics and a pioneer for women in science. The intricate dance of rigid bodies, described with such precision by Kovalevskaya, continues to captivate and inspire mathematicians and physicists to this day.
We really appreciate you tuning in to this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.